little disco dancing to kick things off here tonight. A little hiatus. We are back, and boy, we got plenty of stuff to get into. A little bit here. We won't discuss too much Trump tonight. However, come Sunday. So Sunday we might have to do. We're probably gonna have a truncated week this week as well because I got 16 hours of work on Sunday. How lovely. But we'll go ahead here and get a bunch of stuff in. Yes. Not too much Trump. Tom Myers, sadly, he's taken another break from Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. But he will certainly have live streams in the mornings, which is hilarious. We'll get back to that as well. Yes. But you wanted to get started with something a bit more serious this week, and
I don't know if I would say it's serious. It's just it's more or less kind of comedic. It's Matt Walsh. So he recently.
I don't want to lose anybody.
Well, you know.
Here we go. We're not saying we agree with the guy, but
no, I have my agreements with the guy. Yeah. But I feel like he's better as a politician because as a film critic, he fucking sucks. Like, I'm sorry. Like, so he went to see, for those who don't know, recently, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith returned to theaters for its 20th anniversary and made a fucking killing at the box office. If you compare Disney Star Wars movies and what they made compared to that, it was a slaughter. So Matt went to see the film, and I was a little surprised by that. Matt didn't strike me as the type of guy to really like Star Wars. Like Ben, whether people like him or not, he strikes me as a type of guy who would go to see that. But Matt never struck me as that type of guy. So I was like, okay. There's a YouTube channel I follow called Star Wars Theory that picked up on the fact that Matt had watched the film, and whereas I usually I don't mind tearing to people on the left for having shitty film takes or criticisms or critiques, the right has their fair share of it too, and Matt was one of them. Went to see this film, and I presume said the film was shit for nothing more than rage bait because some of the stuff he says doesn't make sense. For example, says the dialogue of the film is all horrible because of one scene. It's the scene where Anakin and Padme are talking about love. Like it is a rough scene, but to say that the dialogue in the film is all bad because of that is disingenuous because you have the opera scene, the meme known as ever heard of the tale of Dark Plagueis the Wise? It's a tale that the Jedi wouldn't tell you. It's that scene has been memed, but it's a really good scene when you look at it because we're all thinking, well, how does this politician know about this particular Sith Lord and the lore behind them? We know that politicians should know a wide variety of stuff, but this seems a little, particular. The audience knows that Chancellor Palpatine is secretly a Sith Lord, but Anakin and others don't know that he is. But Matt bases the entirety of the film's dialogue off of that. Says that General Grievous, and he was like, well, what's a name like General Grievous? It's a good name, Matt, because it's just because I didn't know in terms of villainous names or character names in film, we had to dial up Matt Walsh for that fucking opinion. Like,
there's not a lot of things that he does enjoy, and I don't even know if you can say that Lizzo being in Mandalorian and some of the more questionable decisions that have been made by the overall Star Wars franchise and those that are head of Lucas these days are to blame for people that like Walsh, who go into these films and they just want to paintbrush the shit out of them now because they expect it to be bad.
But here's the thing, though. That doesn't really work because this isn't Disney Star Wars. This is Lucas Star Wars. This is like way before those times. So that doesn't really work here because you can't take criticism of current Star Wars and try to apply it to old. Like, yeah, the sequel films have their flaws to them, but I can't critique like Star Wars The Phantom Menace in the same way that I can Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Right.
Because in Star Wars The Phantom Menace, the Jedi are portrayed as heroes. In The Last Jedi, they're portrayed as cynical, hissy pissy bitches, and it just it just doesn't work. General Grievous has a cough because he has bronchitis. And this is why I can say that he doesn't have bronchitis. And the reason why I can say that Matt went to see this film and doesn't have an interest in it is that he doesn't know the story prior to this. If you're going to watch this film, it's important to kind of watch what comes before it, or in the very least, a quick snippet. Because you sound stupid when you say, well, General Grievous has bronchitis because he has a cough. No, Matt. Mace Windu in the 2000 and I think it's the early 2000s Clone War series, you see in there that Mace Windu actually crushes Grievous's lungs in the Battle of Coruscant before they head into space.
In which movie?
I
haven't seen all of the Star Wars films.
So this is from the 2000, like the early 2000s Clone War series. There is a battle called the Battle of Coruscant, and this starts on the planet of Coruscant before it heads into space, which is where the Revenge of the Sith takes off. It's a space battle above Coruscant. Grievous was sent to Coruscant to kidnap the Chancellor. And in his and whereas Grievous successfully captured the senator, Mace Windu crushes Grievous's lungs. That's why Grievous has the cough. But Matt wouldn't know that, so he comes out sounding like a dipshit, saying, "Oh, he has bronchitis."
Right. Well, that's another thing too. You gotta realize this also. Matt, not being too much older than we are, Matt. Well, he's 38, so he's quite a bit older than.
But he's not
than like us, I suppose.
Like he's older than us by a fair bit, but it's really not that massive. Like it's a gap, but it's not right. That. But
what I was trying to get at is that he is someone who's his critique on a lot of things. He has this brand of cynicism and dismissal of things that he just doesn't understand. That's his big. That's the big takeaway from Matt Walsh, is that it kind of feels like this is a guy who doesn't really enjoy a whole hell of a lot. I must say,
yeah.
And truly, I mean, I guess he's been out of the loop for a while because he has 6 kids, and I imagine that there's not a whole hell of a lot that he's being he's keeping up with. So I really don't know. I don't really know where his critiques would go with this.
Yeah, but
what I think I'm trying to get at is that Matt Walsh is. I don't take it as someone who grew up watching Star Wars. He made it very clear recently in his interviews with Tucker Carlson and some others that he grew up in a very traditional Christian household, and there was a lot of monitoring on what could be viewed on television, what could be read. I don't really know how much Star Wars Matt Walsh has seen up until it became fun to critique it, is kind of what I'm getting at here. So you have a guy who doesn't really have any source material, who is going into this as a first-time viewer looking for something to be upset about?
I think it's I won't discount or disagree with your opinion, but I think it's something bigger than that. Matt is good at critiquing politics. Whether you agree with his politics or not, whether you like the guy or not, politics is his sphere. Jumping from politics to film critique is an alarming leap in it's an alarming jump. Not everyone can do it. The reason why Jordan Peterson can do it is because he understands stories and mythology and stuff like that. It's easy for him to make that loop because of stuff like clinical psychology and stuff like that. It's quite easy to make that leap. But when one of the reasons why you came to prominence is debating college freshmen, which I'm not bashing on people to do. If someone between the ages of 18 and 22 wants to step up to me, a guy who's nearly 30 and wants to try to lecture me on how the world works, yeah, I'm going to slam them too. Why shouldn't you? But you can't if you're going to get into film critique, you need to hop into something that's easier to digest. Hopping into this is a one of 9 films. In an idealistic world, I wish I could say one of 6 films, but one of 9 films. So you're hopping into the story a third of the way in, and you're saying stuff that, makes sense. Stuff that, doesn't make sense. If Matt was someone from the 80s, and this is something that I deal with, there are people from the 80s that says the original Star Wars trilogy is better than anything that's come out because it's from the 80s, rather than saying, well, one of the reasons why the original Star Wars trilogy took off is because it understands the hero's journey. It pioneered the hero's journey in terms of film. You have this character named Luke Skywalker that knows less about the universe than we do. So we go on this journey with him. We see this arrogant, high-strung teenage, young man thinks he knows everything. And by the end of his journey in Return of the Jedi, this is the same person who's able to lower his arms in front of the most powerful beings of the galaxy at that point. But since Matt is, like you said, 38, I can't even grant him that charity. And but and I can't think of why else he went to see this film. Is Hayden Christensen in this? The other thing that kills me is the language of this thing. Is Hayden Christensen in the pantheon of greatest actors? He doesn't have to be. You don't have to be in the pantheon of greatest actors to be a great actor. You don't have to be hung up on some totem or pedestal. For example, Fantastic Mr. Fox bombed at the theaters. It doesn't mean it's not a good film. It just there are shit films who make a killing at the theater.
Star Wars just got done discussing Minecraft a few weeks ago.
So, I feel like Matt went to see it. And the other thing that kills me is that he is making art, he is grifting in an argumentative sense. He's not grifting in money before anyone thinks I'm making that leap in logic. You are argumentatively grifting. And the reason why he is here is you take all of the bad or the little bad and you paint it over as the overview and saying this is the entirety of the film. And you can't do that. I'm sorry. You have to acknowledge the good with the bad. And you're like, well, you have these grown-ass men and people like that in my comment section saying this and this and this. Well, you're saying stuff like General Grievous has a cough because he has bronchitis. And I'm not trying to meme on you for that, but it's like you said this without knowing why he has that cough.
Matt is one of these guys who has decided that you turn a certain age and then you can no longer have fun in your life anymore. You can no longer have hobbies. You can no longer have escapism. You can no longer have a passion for something that is utterly fictitious, such as Star Wars, and have a reason to enjoy it and to defend the source material and to be all knowledgeable of it. Well, he just doesn't see the point in that.
Well, here's Well, my problem with that is that I'm not even like traditionally Christian, but as a man that the original Star Wars trilogy also had a focus on family. It had a focus on family and like a huge emphasis on that. It's has incredibly healthy masculinity and everything like that. You got Star Wars films and stuff like that nowadays that it's just like beat the crap out of the enemy, kill the guy. Meanwhile, Luke is able to bring his father back to the side of good by he's able to lower his weapon. He's able to get his father to come back. This is the most terrifying man in the galaxy. He was a literal fucking force of nature, and here he is doing this all for his kid, because he doesn't want the sins of the father doesn't always have to be passed down to the son.
Right. And
But
I just think that Matt sat down and he watched a movie, and he has seen the bits and pieces of The Mandalorian and the questionable casting decisions of the last number of years and everything that has came with it.
Well, he would have to go off. He would have to go off the third season of The Mandalorian because the first two seasons are good. So I don't buy that either. No,
the first two seasons are great. What I'm saying is I don't know if the first two seasons were under the radar of the Daily Wire. I take it they only start paying attention to things when they get shitty and forced upon.
I can't say that for Ben though. Ben rates this stuff better. I think that Matt saw how much this stuff was trending and decided to go in there and make a disingenuous video because he knew he would generate him clicks. It would get him into the algorithm. You can't explain it to me any other way. I've watched his critique and I try to be as charitable and fair with it as humanly possible. Like this has nothing to do with Disney Star Wars, so you can't bank it off of that because George Lucas was trying to write a genuinely good story, so that doesn't fly. Like if Matt didn't, for all the shit I gave Matt for this thing, he didn't make the assertion of, well, this is like Disney Star Wars films, because he would get ripped to shreds. I'm sorry, Revenge of the Sith is a cut above everything Disney Star Wars has done, with the exception of the first two seasons of The Mandalorian, Rogue One, season 1 and season 2 of Andor, Bad Batch, and some other minor stuff. So that wouldn't be able to fly either. No, what I see here is that Matt saw that this was the 20th anniversary of a beloved Star Wars film, and he decided to go watch this, not understand any of it. This is like if Lord of the Rings, Return of the King went to the theaters for the first time in a million years. You and your wife went to see the film. You come back and you're like, hey, Jimmy, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King is shit. Why are these dudes on horses fighting the orcs? Who are these elf boys here? Why are they throwing a ring into fire? And like you nitpick some questionable scenes and say, bad, bad, bad. And you're like, Return of the King. This guy was always for example, since we're going to talk about people that I critique in terms of film, Joy Reid speaking of Return of the King, Joy Reid was just like, basically in the tweet she made, said that she doesn't know why the film was called Return of the King. They always had a king. No shit. That's why it's called
I bet you Joy Reid really is an avid fan of Lord of the Rings.
That's my point. That's the point. You are making this arrogant assumption and comments off of a film series and a set of books you've never touched. And that's why I can draw that comparison to Matt Walsh. They're both on opposite sides of the political spectrum, but they both made incredibly arrogant presumptions about source material they've never read or watched. Matt's going to hop into a third of this story and say, well, this doesn't make sense. Well, this doesn't make sense. The dialogue here is all this and this and this. No shit, man. You hopped into the movie with Order 66, and if he's confused as to why Order 66 is happening, Yeah, you didn't see the build up to it. And that's why I can say
You
that his
know,
video was an argumentative
yeah,
grift.
he's and he openly admits that he doesn't really watch a lot of movies. He's not paying attention to franchises. He's a guy who he just doesn't have time for anything. He's got 6 kids. He has time for nothing. So when
Then
he
he
does
needs
watch things, he uses his matter of factness. He uses the lens of his very dull personality to sort of judge what's happening in a movie instead of just trying to fully enjoy it. But
I'll
enough of
end
that.
on I'll end on this, and then I don't know if you have anything else you want to add about Matt in general, but I will end on this. Um if all of that is true, that you don't have any hobbies and stuff like that because you have 6 kids, then stay away from film critique. Or if you're going to critique films, critique stuff that doesn't require prior knowledge to fucking the thing, and just stick to politics, man. Because you're what he's doing is no different than what he's doing is no different than someone on the left saying, "Well, you dislike the current Captain America film? Well, you're racist." Without any real
Right.
breakdown, because all you have to do is just say, well, here's a black man, and that's it. Matt's doing the same thing. He is cherry picking one thing, and he's making it as a generalization overall. So look, and because he hasn't critiqued any other Star Wars films. The only reason why I bring up Ben Shapiro is because, yet again, whether people like him or not, he's consistently critiqued Star Wars. He's even done like a tier list and stuff like that, and he's broken down why he either liked something or disliked something. Matt hasn't done that. So Matt, stay in your lane, man. It's no what he did yet again was no different than what Joy Reid did when it came to her shitty statement about Return of the King. It's bad. If you're a politician and you deal with political stuff, stick to that.
Didn't
Film
they always have a king? So Joy Reid was trying to make some like weird feminist remark in her review of Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the Force is female. Me.
But I was going to get a little bit more into this, but really, there's no need. Matt Walsh, I enjoy his takes on things sometimes, but to be very honest with you, when he starts getting into the dynamics of relationships and how husbands should carry themselves and how wives should carry themselves, and the idea that a man can't cry in front of his wife, and a man can have no hobbies, as we just got done dealing with. I don't know why he militarizes himself the way that he does, and I take it's because he has such a large family and he has to. But yeah, this is a guy who does not make an attempt to genuinely enjoy very much in life. But anyway, I wanted to just quickly discuss something. I don't really want to spend too much time on this, but I felt like we had to bring it up. So everyone went crazy for about 38 hours. Sorry, for about 48 hours, for about 2 days, especially the left, the atheistic left, who mocks Catholics to begin with, who dislike anything to do with really any form of Christianity. But they suddenly they were angry at Trump because he posted an AI photo of himself as the Pope. And I just wanted to kind of clear the air on this as a Catholic. Yeah, Trump's getting a little annoying now. It's not cute anymore. There's a lot of things that Trump said he was going to do that have yet to be done. He's still really focused on kind of making it the Donald show these days instead of actually doing his job as president. And that's not me saying that as, suddenly I'm turning a new leaf and I'm, just color me blue. I'm a big elephant now. I'm a big, well, what is the Democrat? A donkey?
Donkey.
Yeah, I'm riding in on the
Donkey.
donkey. I'm Don Quixote. Here I am. No, that's
Johnny the
not what I'm getting
Jackass.
at. But what I'm saying is that there are things about Trump that I really don't like. And
Yeah.
I do think that he's now, trying to take this gimmick of himself, and he's getting a bit carried away with it.
Yes.
And I don't know what your feelings are.
On I don't know if my issue in that regard isn't really with Trump. I don't mind AI, but the whole AI photo thing or AI picture thing is just, and I've had debates with people over this. I've had people try to compare making it a piece of art, tried comparing that to a Facebook comment. This is how stupid some of these arguments have went for me. We're going to compare the artwork that someone like Bob Ross, for example, does to me interacting with a basement dweller on Facebook. I'm sorry. Oh, I put some thought into that comment. You called me a right-wing chud because I said an AI picture was slop fest and it was disrespectful in a plethora of ways. But, no.
Right. Because you don't want to see harm come to somebody. You can't.
Because I'm championing
you're an awful person.
because I'm championing artists that an individual like this screams that they do. I suddenly get called a right wing chud. Another phrase that means nothing anymore. It's terrific.
Now, I mean, I have to say that the backdrop that we have clearly is AI generated. Okay, clearly it's a bowling alley. It's a weed bowling alley, and I've explained what happened before. Okay, I was messing with AI, and I typed in a bowl of weed in just as a goof, and it gave me this bowling alley, and I paid the $2.99 to keep it. But beyond that, I try not to use too much AI. A lot of the backgrounds that we use, like this one here. Well, that one was the chicken tender basket. That was I forgot what we had that one for. But there are examples of things that I try to go to that clearly are not AI. And the music beds that we use here on StreamYard, I don't know if they're AI generated or not. They just come with the software.
I would presume, I would say those aren't AI generated. I would presume that those were like pre-recorded. Like, no, I would say in your defense though, you're not making these backgrounds and you're not pushing yourself off as an artist. Like, it's not some grand thing for you, because according to some of the people I debated with, if you know how to make AI images, you're an artist now, and it's just like, fuck off, please. Like,
I mean, like okay, so like these little cutesy backgrounds at the very beginning. Yes, we did do AI. I do have various things that we can use, and I'll stop fucking with it. But the point is that I get where you're coming from in the sense that if we were to hire someone to make our song for an intro song for us,
yes,
we get an intro song and want it to be done right. Now, we could throw our names and some silly stuff and some things that we've talked about and sound bites into a generator, and it would spit out an AI song with not only an AI, singing voice, but it would have, inserts of our voices and things that we've said. And it would be this grandiose intro that's completely AI generated. And that takes away from work from people like our buddy Richard, for an example, who do this kind of stuff all the time. But really the point that I was trying to make is I feel that
I get it though. For example, I need to research it more, and maybe this is something I talk about in the future, since unironically, I think I've become like the film critic amongst the two of us. So I think at some point I need to look into the film tariffs that Trump has implemented. That I will admit kind of like caught me off guard. We need to make films in America. It's just like I don't know if that will really solve the problem with the film industry. I think with the film industry, you need to I think you need to weed out the activists who cosplay as writers, and you need to get in people who focus more on storytelling than spectacle.
Right.
If
And I
you know,
don't understand. Okay, unless if you are going to work people are leaving California for a whole plethora of reasons.
oh
And
yeah,
unless if you are going to encourage these smaller states to allow filming, because we know that, like the Dakotas, for an example, are not very friendly with filming. So there's a lot of times, like Yellowstone. Yellowstone was only filmed in Montana for one season, and then the locals shit a brick about it, so it went up to Vancouver to film. A lot of Marvel films are done in Australia, in Budapest, in places all around the world. So if all of a sudden now you're filming Avengers Endgame, or well, whatever, Avengers movie would be next, whatever Marvel movie would be next. I'm just using that as an example. Imagine if the principal photography for that movie was done in like Madison, Wisconsin. You get what I mean? Like it would change the entire course of the movie. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, and like I said, I'd like to research it more to see what's being what the intended outcome is supposed to be, but this is me just spitballing, predicting. If people can't go to these desired locations to do that, you're just going to see more green screens and more CGI and more like practical effects. So I don't think, and if, like I said, I need to research this. If the intended goal is to bring it back to the States, you need to allow filming regulations to be better in all the 50 states. And there needs to be some sort of agreement. For example, the people in the Dakotas need to get the fucking dildo out of their ass and let people film some of the scenic stuff there. As long as you're not being a menace to the locals and you're not being intrusive and you operate in a certain framework, I think it should be fine, because it's a perfect opportunity for it, because the film industry didn't kill California. As anyone knows, it's COVID. Dick Masterson has mentioned this. COVID killed California. It killed Los Angeles. It fucked it. And it's never going to recover. Or if we're going to speculate on that, if it ever recovers, it's too late. The comedy scene moved to Austin. If the film scene is allowed to spread across the states, I mean,
it already pretty much has. I mean, there's a lot of filming done in Georgia, a lot of filming done in Minnesota. There's a lot of filming in Washington State.
What I mean is like either you get a new state that becomes that that place to be, or every state needs to have like a particular sector that
yeah, well, like,
allows you to operate.
So who are these podcasts says this all the time? They don't understand why Opie still lives in New York City. And Adam Bush explained that for a lot of these they're struggling actors or talents of yesteryear, so to speak, New York and LA has nothing for them anymore, because everything is pre-tape, everything is at home audition, everything is done remotely. So a lot of these people, okay, like our buddy Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts, a lot of these guys have nowhere to go, have nothing to do. They're not going to get work. You don't just walk in to you don't just walk in to open auditions anymore, and just not a whole lot's going on. So I don't know if a state like Texas would want to have the influx, because you got to remember too, the state that takes in the burden of the film industry while they will make money in the long run, they are also bringing in a lot of people, a
That's why
lot
I
of
think
population, a lot of concentration in one particular city,
that's
a
why
lot
I
of
think that's why I think if they
a lot of disruption.
well, you're gonna that's gonna come that that's gonna come with the territory, and if you're gonna have these tariffs to make it to where films are gonna be done in the state, that's probably gonna happen anyway. You might as well start if you're gonna do if these tariffs are gonna stick around, they're gonna be a thing, and I hear it's at 100% too, so it's nothing lowballed, it's pretty high up there. Then you need to have it to where um there needs to be some sort of an agreement. Okay, if I want to film, for example, in the state of Montana, I there needs to be an agreement to where I need, as long as I'm not disrupting the locals, and I mean actually disrupting them. No, Susie Lou doesn't get to act like a stubborn little bitch because the volume decibel was one higher than she would prefer. It needs to be something serious, like if you're disrupting traffic for people, if you're preventing them from get to work or something like that, like actual emergencies, and not it hurts my ears, like something
Well, I don't
like
even know if it's necessarily that. I think a lot of it too, it's not just because there are rules about what times you can film, what times you can't film, and etc. What I think a lot of people get upset about is that um, camera crews have to live places temporarily. There's large sets. All the seamstresses, everybody that's involved in a movie has to be temporarily migrated to this city, to this state. And there are people that just are not very interested in that. And
well
I'm not saying that that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. But if we are going to take all these movies out of California, I just ask, like, where the fuck are you going to film everything? I guess Arizona. I mean, they're already filming things completely out of
that,
LA.
yeah, like I said, I'll research this more, but I'm all for having more stuff done in America, but films never really wasn't one of those things that I thought we were going to implement tariffs on. Like I said, that kind of caught me off guard out of the blue. It's like it, like I said, I'll research it, but I don't know if Trump thinks that the reasons why films are bad is because they aren't done in America. It's like, no, man, I'm sorry. If Captain America 4 was done completely in America, it still would have been a shit film. Not because of the location or anything, but because of the substance, the script, the source. All
Yeah.
of that was shit.
And I
You
don't know if
know,
it's about jobs. I don't know if he's thinking that maybe this will keep, you know, all American film crews. This will keep the lights on for a bunch of more people. I don't know what he's thinking in this vision here,
it's
and why it makes a lot of sense, because it really doesn't make any
no,
sense. And the
it's
storyline, if you're a filmmaker and the story takes place in Cheyenne, Wyoming, then okay, make an effort to film there if you can. But if your story takes place in London, England, are you supposed to then go to fucking I don't know, Minneapolis and
no,
pretend that you're in London?
no. I think it'll just cause people to rely on green screens more, or dare I even say, this might cause a shift in AI. Trump is on now, whereas I went after Matt for going at for just being a politician and not understanding film and the industry. Like I said, I'll research this more. So this is me speculating and spitballing. Trump is pursuing this from the angle of business.
Yeah.
And it's like, sure, I want films to be able to profit too. I want the film industry to do well. I just question if this is the way to do it. Yet again, filming like I said, I guess what I would have to account for is it the budget of flights? Is it the budget to do it all out of state? If the only thing I could think of that might be a significant impact is that will it make the budget of films smaller? Like, if
I mean,
so,
I don't
some of
know.
these, like I said, this is a guy, like, I'm just going from the film critique angle and how I understand the business of the film industry. Is this going to make the budget of films cheaper so there's not much for, because I don't know how
Well,
much of
what about
travel
this
costs.
angle? What about if it's just because that Trump knows that the film industry in Hollywood are a bunch of, left-leaning folks that don't like him, and this is his way of saying "fuck you"?
Yeah, but it doesn't really fix the problem, though. You
I
haven't.
don't think he cares. I don't think Trump is sitting down with a fucking bowl of popcorn watching, whatever comes out next week.
I get that, but
He's more concerned about pissing off the left wing celebrities that don't like him.
well, as a person who's not a left wing celebrity or anything like that, I genuinely question what this is trying to accomplish, because the only thing I can think of is that you're going to have it more in house, but if you got states that have people that feign and cry and all this other shit,
Well, then
it's
I
not
guess they won't film there. But I could see.
it
Um,
limits, like, if anything, this doesn't, I don't see, without researching this more, how this benefits the film industry, because you give less filming locations unless they pay, like all the tariffs to go film elsewhere. Like, it just I don't know.
yeah, I could see a lot more sound stages, a lot more green screens, a lot more bullshitting, a lot more, like you said before. AI could be a big factor in the upcoming years because of this. I'm not really sure what the point of Trump's um, game plan is here, if there is any real at all, aside from the fact of just bringing everything imaginable into America and
And
trying to
which
stir up
which
the
I
pot.
don't which I don't inherently have a problem with. It's just that when it comes to the film industry, I still don't see how that benefits it. Like, if you want to bring manufacturing and a bunch of other stuff like that to the states, and that's fine. Like, that I'm fine with. But in terms of, like, I have to scratch my head on this one, because I think he only sees it from the business end, when you have to look at, it's not going to change the quality of the films. It's just going to, I feel like the budget might stay the same, because they're going to push for more CGI, for more practical effects, more
Yeah.
green screen usage, so on and so forth. Like I said, I'll research it more. This is all me just speculating and spitballing why you would implement that. Like, this isn't like, yet again, this isn't like 5% or like
Well,
20%.
I guess, again, if he's looking at it as, if we go film in Paris and we hire primarily French film crew, but we are an American film company that's not employing Americans, and et cetera, then fine, if he's going to look at films as a legitimate job. But you're right, Jimmy. There are so much more important things to focus on in terms of job growth, being manufacturing, first and foremost, that the film industry is just a non-factor. Most people who are most people who are looking for work in the film industry, I don't take it, are big supporters of Trump to begin with. I mean, maybe I'm wrong on that, but
No,
I
no, Hollywood is predominantly left leaning, and like I said, I'll need to research it more. But if this really is done out of political spite and political motivation, how are you any different than when there was that political driven campaign against you to try to get you out of office and try to prevent you from running? It runs off of this. If that is the case, that runs off the same line of logic. You are doing this more out of spite politically than anything else.
yeah, and also too, I take it that um and I just thought about this, when these actors like Alec Baldwin, for an example, when they fly to Europe to film movies, a lot of times they'll sit before panels. So they'll be in Poland or Germany or France or wherever, and they will sit there with all of these film critics and journalists and activists and etc. And they will talk about how ignorant Americans are and how much we all suck and how uneducated. I mean, you've seen these videos.
I've seen it.
So, I think Trump's looking at it like, look, you are making tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in our country between not just the actors themselves who have tens of millions of dollars, but these film studios who have billions of dollars to throw around. Marvel has billions of dollars to throw around as a studio. So does Universal and 20th Century Fox and et cetera, et cetera. And meanwhile, the actors that are making them all the moolah are going over to whatever country and talking all this shit, but they still come back here and accept the luxuries of the United States. Now, I'm not saying that France and Germany and these places are not living lavishly. Okay, I'm not stupid enough to realize that the fucking French version of Walmart is currently open and operating as we speak. But what I am trying to explain, and not that I necessarily agree with this, but Trump could look at that as look, this is what needs to be done. We are going to do films here. We're going to represent ourselves here, and maybe he thinks that it will bolster the economy for a couple of months if a film is done, say like in Omaha. Okay, if a film is done, if cowboy western films, instead of being, I guess those are already in the States. So I don't know what movies he's talking about. I guess he means these big blockbuster movies like Minecraft, for an example. Not one scene was shot in America. Not one scene. All of it was in New Zealand or wherever the fuck. So I guess that's what he means. I guess he wants that to be shot in fucking, in Georgia instead of New Zealand. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, if it works, like I said, I'll look into it more. And if it works, I'll eat my words. But as it currently stands, and this is coming from someone who's not really biased in any political direction, is solely looking at this from, the industry itself and, why the films are right now, for the most part, kind of shit is,
right.
It just doesn't jive with me,
I totally get I totally get that altogether, and it also it begins to limit. What about video games? What about when studios create games? Oftentimes there are teams in multiple countries working on a game. So is that suddenly going to be now where, say, Rockstar Games, half of the board working on GTA 6 is here in the States, and the other half is over in Tokyo or where have you? Is there now going to be a tariff on that?
There's already tariffs on the business tariffs have already affected like the gaming industry and the consoles and stuff like that. So I don't like that I can't really speak much on. I knew the business tariffs are going to affect that, but it's just the I knew he mentioned tariffs in his presidential campaign, but I didn't think it was going to expand to the film industry. Like I said, that kind of caught me off guard. Like that was
I think a lot of things are catching people off guard, especially the people who were his voters, were his supporters, were questioning the naysayers, when they thought that a lot of what Trump was going to do was going to be met with a lot more retreat, was going to be left with a lot more resistance. And to be very honest with you, when we were hearing about Doge and all these other programs, I genuinely thought that Congress and the Supreme Court were going to be very combative with Trump. You know, I thought it was going to be very 50-50 with what he was allowed to get away with. And he has been given full carte blanche. There is nobody challenging this fucking guy at all.
Oh, yeah, because it's completely red. It's because everything is completely red for the most part. So, but anyway, you were mentioning this cop cam that was peculiar.
Yes, I want to go ahead here and to tie things off with this cop cam, and you and I can go ahead and take a watch at this.
Yes.
So just to explain what's going on here, Jimmy, this girl is 19 years old and she is a stripper. Somehow or another, they decided that they were going to, her and the boyfriend went on a date to the strip club, but she couldn't come into the strip club as a patron because they serve alcohol. So instead, she then becomes a employee of the strip club. The boyfriend comes in after her mid-shift and decides, okay, you've made enough money today. We're getting the fuck out of here now. And he grabs her and the money and he leaves. She fights him off. They are now outside the establishment somewhere. And he rips all of the tip money that she made stripping that day, like in half. And now the police arrive during all of this.
Friend decided it was time to go. He allegedly.
What's going on?
Everything I made at the strip club is ripped up and gone.
Okay. What's going on?
Can you please be nice?
Okay. I'll talk to him. Just look at me.
He was upset because I was stripping. Okay. And everything I made, he ripped up.
Okay. Who's he to you?
That's my boyfriend. Am I going to get arrested for stripping?
No, there's nothing illegal as long as you're doing it in a establishment.
Okay. Hold on. I don't know why she asked that.
I mean, to be fair, maybe she didn't know because, to be fair, stripping is, depending on who you are, kind of a taboo thing. It does kind of push certain boundaries. And she is 19, so I can't bash on her entirely for that. We might know that that's a silly thing, but honestly, like that I can.
She looks very, very young. I don't feel.
And honestly, I think she's just distraught that that money, whether you like it, whether people like it or not, that she worked for, got torn up.
Yeah. How comfortable would you be, Jimmy, if you went into a strip club and you found out that one of the dancers was 19?
I would leave. I don't think I don't think I'd be comfortable with that. Like everyone has their cup of tea and that's fine, but it's like I don't know. It's like you're like a year out of high school. That's just a
little too young there. That's license, which they are exactly. What's your name? No. Look at me, ma'am. Look at me. Don't look at him.
He's gonna get arrested. No. Can you just tell him to calm down?
Dude, I'm okay.
Okay, so take a good look at this boyfriend.
He's gonna get arrested. No. Can you just tell him to calm down?
There he is.
Oh, what a prime specimen. Jesus Christ. Oh man, that's a good
Why
one.
does he look like if Markiplier smoked meth?
Hey guys, it's Methaplier.
But look at him. Doesn't he look like if Markiplier was, made a lot of questions? Okay. Also, his shirt, by the way, in case you can't read it, it says, "I need some space."
I've read it.
With a big alien on it.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's got the douchey black and red star tattoo.
Please do not push me.
Oh, and also, by the way, that yellow. So there's a lot happening here.
Just
That big yellow pouch thing hanging from his pocket. That's his girlfriend's wallet that he has also confiscated from her.
Okay, let's let this section play out because it looks like a confrontation is about to go down.
Oh yeah, it gets wild.
Look at him.
Oh, he's gonna get arrested. No. Can you just tell him to calm down?
Dude, I'm okay.
Step the
Please do not push me.
Step the back.
Do not swear at me. You're an officer of the law. Please do not swear at me.
Care. All right, tell me what happened.
Nothing happened.
You strike her?
I did not strike her.
Okay. You have an ID?
I do. Would you like to see my ID?
No. Is that hers?
That's hers. I was carrying it for her tonight.
Right.
Here's my ID. You can
Right.
look at it. You did not have permission to go in my pocket. You did not ask to go in
By
my
the
pocket.
way, Jimmy, they're clearly walking home from the strip club. There is no car.
Yeah.
You did not ask to go.
And that's
Get on the ground now. Get on the ground now, dude.
You're gonna get
3, 2, on your stomach now. On your stomach now.
No, he's gonna turn around.
Relax.
No, he punched him in the face,
Stop.
and you know
Yeah, I
that.
sure did because he cocked back on me.
Stop.
No, he what does he have? A freaking gun?
Stop.
I mean, you saw him cock back at the officer.
Yeah, he was ready to punch his lights out. Let's be honest. That's the I'm ready to swing on you punch. The stance and everything. Fuck me.
Yeah, so the officer punched him in the face, but it gets better because this guy here, he's really ready for a battle now, Jimmy. He gets up and he's ready for a fight.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be able to?
Stop. Just relax. Just
You
relax.
know that was illegal. You fucking assaulted
Stop.
my boyfriend.
Stop.
He didn't.
No, it's not illegal.
That's police brutality.
It's
sir.
not police
That is
He
police.
assaulted my boyfriend. The same boyfriend that ripped you from your
Same boyfriend who basically assaulted you.
the same boyfriend who ripped you from your job and destroyed all of the money that you just made.
And publicly shamed you on top of that. Why are you mad at the cop for doing their job?
I have no idea. Look at the Rick and Morty wallet he has in his hand too, by the way.
Of course he has a Rick and Morty wallet.
Douche.
Brutality.
Okay, I'm sorry you feel that way.
You straight up punched me in the face.
Yep, because you swung back like.
He did a fucking swing at you. He put
Stop.
his hands up. I'm
Stop.
sorry. I don't want to get arrested.
Here, we have one in custody.
They're right there. You good?
I am okay.
He has my backpack and my purse. Am I able to get that?
Yeah, just hang on.
Yep, that's hers. Can you please give that to me?
See, I don't like this either, unless if he was trying to do a romantic gesture of carrying her things. This feels very controlling to me.
It is controlling. There's nothing romantic. You're holding her funds and her possessions, and you're stripping her from her job. That's controlling. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was being facetious, Jim, but yeah,
I'm not being facetious. He's willing to swing on a cop. I'm gonna make this allegation because I can. What's the strung out meth head gonna do? Sue me?
Right.
I'm willing to think that he probably swings on her behind closed doors. I mean, he was about to swing on the cop. It's not that too far of a leap.
No, not at all.
I don't feel like you had the need to punch me in the face, though.
If you cock back on me and you look like you're about to punch me in the face,
He just looks like a complete asshole. Now you have a good look at him, Jim.
Yeah. He looks like a guy that would work at he looks like he works at a Taco Bell.
He doesn't have a job at all.
Oh, geez, don't tell me that. My goodness. Sounds
the
like a real
comment
winner.
The comment section had a great comment. It said this guy was the kid that ate paste in kindergarten. But yeah, this guy, he's not working at all.
He looks like Sid from Sid from Toy Story's older brother.
I'm going to defend myself. Oh, you're not going to get an upper hand.
Okay, but you're an officer of the law. You
Okay, well, by the way, so if you think that this confrontation is cooling down,
No,
expect the exact opposite.
Geez.
I have every right to defend myself. Just because I wear a badge and I'm a police officer does not mean that you get to have the first.
Very fucking good, Jason.
Stop.
Oh,
Stop.
Sorry.
Wayne, do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Right, but just because
So I will punch you in the face if I think you're about to attack me.
will you let me speak?
No, I won't.
But just because I'm a brown person,
It has nothing to do with
Oh,
who you
fuck
It
off.
doesn't. It doesn't. Are you brown?
Oh, geez. What a
You're
surprise.
done, bro. You're done. He's trying to headbutt me in the head.
Don't cut the bag. Just take it off.
Shut up.
Just take it off. It's
Shut up.
not my bag. It's not my bag. Yasmina, stop. Stop. Bag is hers.
Stop. You got a search on this side? No.
I have 2 grams of cocaine in my butthole.
Okay, outstanding.
I'm sure you do.
I have 3 grams of
Did you
marijuana.
hear what the cop said?
I'm sure I heard the cop.
He said outstanding. Because this guy, I mean, he's the definition of non-cooperative, and now he's trying to make jokes. Now he thinks that anyone is going to laugh along with him.
Geez, you might as well tell the cop you fucked his mom last night. My God, man. What a winner.
Marijuana in my stomach.
Okay.
Oh, there's not.
Good. You fucking piece of.
He just tried biting you. I got another squad over here. This guy's trying to bite us and spit on us. And we just need him alone here. Stop, dude.
Oh,
Don't
good
punch me.
grief.
Stop.
It's illegal.
It's not. It's a pressure point. Stop.
Punching me in my throat is a pressure point?
It's not. It's underneath your chin. Stop.
He just punched me in my throat.
Stop, dude. You're going to get tased.
Tase me then.
Dude, he's
Please
biting them.
tase him. Fuck this
He's
guy.
biting them. He's kicking them. He's trying to headbutt them. He's doing all of these things. This is all because he wouldn't let the cop see the inside of his backpack. By the way, this is all because he wouldn't open up the backpack.
I have a seizure disorder. You're gonna tase me?
Oh, I'm sure you do.
You know what?
Get back. Just go stand over there. Just go. It's all ruined. Just go stand over there. Get back. You got to sit here. Get back. Yeah, hey, get her back now.
No, this is legal.
No, you can step back. I'm not comfortable with you that close.
Why?
Get them, babe. Get them.
I'm not the one doing anything wrong.
Why? Because
Babe, help me.
Babe, help me. Are you out of your fucking mind? You're asking your girlfriend to help you after you tried to kick a
shame
cop's
her like
ass?
that? Oh, die. Eat shit and die.
Right, you make her feel like the most awful person ever, and then you try to fight 3 cops, and you want her to come to your rescue. What a prick!
Yeah.
Please, baby, help
Nothing
me.
I can do. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did fuck up today.
You're on your own.
You really did.
I'm sorry.
Now you're going to jail for multiple felonies. So that sucks.
Felonies.
Yep.
Felony. You assaulted him.
Assault on a police
You
officer.
started it. You punched him in the fucking face.
I did.
And
Because
you
he
just
swung
caused
back.
the seizures.
He swung back on me.
I was protecting myself
I will
because you.
say, Jimmy, that this girl is very young, and maybe we should just keep that in mind that she is 19.
I like that's why I haven't made any comments about her, and that's why I did open up with the fact that she's very young.
Yes.
All my criticisms have been at the guy. None of them have really been
How old
against
do you
her.
think this guy is? If she's 9, we think this guy's at least 25.
Probably. And I'm willing to make an even greater bet he probably lives with his parents.
He probably beats her too. I'm willing to admit.
I think so too.
Myself, protecting myself.
Okay.
Right? I have the right to protect myself, don't I?
That is in the rule book of the laws.
Oh Jesus! Here we go
Because you
now.
punched me, I have the right to protect myself. Nope.
We're just gonna carry him.
All right.
I was protecting
Well,
myself
what else
from
are
you.
they supposed to do?
You left your cop car locked, dumbass.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your fucking mouth. Don't talk to her like that. Don't talk to my fucking woman like
Stand by,
that.
stand by. There's a knife back there.
Oh,
Hey,
Why?
you want to point through on the other side?
We get an ID on her?
Whoa!
information I just haven't been able to learn.
I'm rude. Fuck them.
Ow!
Get her, yeah, shove
There you
her in.
go. Pull.
There, shove her right the fucking.
What do I do about my money getting cut up?
Don't worry about it. I don't know. See ya.
I think that's the strip club court. Don't worry about it. You know Bill too.
I've never been to the strip clubs here.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Actually, you never had it.
Ow!
Stop.
So they
Good.
just have no time for this girl. And again, I want to preface this on the fact that she is very young. And it's very sad that she feels the need that she has to take her clothes off to make money. And this shit stain has ripped all of her money up. And I don't even think she can tape it. I don't know what the rules are, because I think it's like 1/3. It has to be like 2/3 together.
Yeah, if it's anything, if it's not 2/3 together, it's not. It's not admissible or acceptable.
So you can't tape $1.50 like halfway in the middle.
Yeah.
No. So well, yeah. So I guess what a shame. She lost several $100s that day, I'm assuming.
Relax. We're trying to fix it.
Fucking boy.
Stop. You're going to get another charge. Hey, Dolbeck, relax. Dolbeck, stop. Relax.
We're done with her. You need to leave, otherwise you're going to get arrested.
No, because this is legal. I'm allowed to stay close.
You are interjecting into our scene right now. You're getting too close. I told you that multiple times. So just stop. It's very easy.
You're built easy. Did you know that?
I don't know what that means.
That means anybody can fuck you.
Okay, again, trying to be nice because she is 19.
To be fair, I was thinking in my mind, what does that mean? I don't think you can tell someone they're built easy when you're the one who's taking your clothes off for money, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
That's why the cop just said cool. Like the chick.
Well, at first he was like, what does that mean? Which
Right.
is an appropriate thing to say. It's like, what does that mean?
You are a young girl. You have the right to spread your wings and fly. Get away from this bum. Stop defending him. And I think the cops are trying to give her every out possible to not be sucked into this fucking warp that he's creating for her.
Cool.
It hurts.
Stop. You're going to get another charge.
It hurts.
Roll him on his side.
No. Ow.
On his side.
It fucking hurts.
Stop.
Ah. God damn it.
Close this door on him. Smack him right in the fucking head with the door.
Battery, disorderly conduct.
Somebody grab the house.
His charge? Yeah.
You don't need to hobble me. Just shut the fucking door. Hey.
Oh, shit. There we go.
Get him down. Shut that door now. Shut the door.
What was that move? What was that move? Did you see the little bop?
I saw it. So let's skip a bit. Do a time skip.
What?
I said, let's skim a bit and see what happens, and then I think we can call it good.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I guess they just go away, and the police separate them, and then they're with the girl here.
Yeah. Who's paying for my backpack?
Well, if you want to make a complaint about the backpack being damaged,
No,
you
but I
can
want
contact
to
our
make a
supervisor.
complaint about the officer who punched me in the face. I'll do that.
Okay. That's.
Could you grab shackles?
All right, so they're now at the police station.
You got a good pulse. Pulse is about 75.
He was just talking right before I got out of the car. Give medical
Right above the right eyebrow.
please.
Could you grab shackles?
Are you injured or?
I think it's from when I was getting shot by the BBs, actually.
Oh,
But I ripped when I was
okay.
fighting with them.
What's your name? You don't know it?
What's your name? I don't know.
So now he's laying on the ground. He's sick. He has
amnesia. He doesn't remember who he is.
Right.
Holy shit.
What a waste of taxpayer resources.
I don't know if you know.
Why were you arrested?
Why was I
Why were
arrested?
you arrested for a whole list, a whole
don't
litany
know.
of reasons?
I don't know how to be honest with you, dude. I don't know.
We're gonna get you seen by medical, okay?
Oh my God. Where am I? Oh, give me a fucking break. Where am I?
You know if you did today? Okay. I'm gonna guess that's why you got so much blood. Was from the alcohol. It turns out the blood was leaving the more.
He looks familiar.
Yeah.
He's not the one I'm thinking of.
Hey, Sergeant Jago with the police department. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
Another officer then calls the local hospital to inform.
Okay, so he's
I cannot.
and literally, okay, he's in the ambulance and now he's barking.
He's a barking. It's a gabapentin.
Oh, that's what he wants.
Is it gonna break if I come this to that?
No.
I cannot.
So now it makes a lot of sense. What I'm assuming is that the girlfriend was stripping to pay for his pills.
There's narcotics, yeah.
Right, and then once
morphine is one thing to request. But gabapentin, for those who don't know, that's a medication for nerve pain. I had that when I was recovering from Iraq. That's a very specific thing to ask for. Morphine, I could hand wave away, but gabapentin, nah, that's
no. He's looking for something very, very strong, and that's why the girlfriend, I assume, was stripping because she needed to bankroll old Soy Boy's drug habit there. Oh, but boy. Well, that was a neat little one tonight, Jimmy. We will definitely come back, and there are more cop cams. I'm gonna have some more clips for some different shows. I know we try to do like a Dabbleverse show at least, once a week, and we can go ahead and make some attempts at that. But for now, pal, good night.
Good night.